Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. It is Sunday the 13th of January. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Of course, the site's all kept free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen here. So by you coming back and using the adverts, using the site, that's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that. Picture in front of you at the moment is the radar. You can see the area of rain, sleet and snow that's been moving steadily across Scotland, northern England into Wales during the course of this afternoon. And that looks set to continue overnight tonight, and of course we need to be watching out now for the threat of some sleet and also of some snow. Now, just about the best graphics to see where the rain and snow is going to be come from weatheronline.co.uk. This is from the Met Office NAE model, and what they show is the pink areas here are where precipitation falls as snow and sleet. The blue areas are where precipitation falls as rain. Now, of course, we're looking at a model, we're looking at the pure output from the model here, so you do have to bear that in mind. But this is the chart for 6 o'clock this evening. You can see that it's got outbreaks of, this will be sleet and snow across the Welsh mountains, also outbreaks of sleet and snow, southern uplands through the Lake District down through northwestern parts of England, and a more persistent area of snow here affecting southern parts of Scotland. Now, I think what we're going to find happening is that overnight tonight that area will slip its way southeastwards, look, and for a time it'll be producing some periods of snow through northeast England and down through the Midlands. This is really the main problem though of the weather at the moment, because it's deciding how much snow is going to settle at low levels, how much at high levels. I'll show you my ideas in just a moment, but that's the issue, because we've actually got milder air coming in as well behind this feature. Then through tomorrow we find it's the east really that sees most of the snow. You'll notice here, look, this isobar here, watch this isobar. This is the area of low pressure that's slipping down. Look, here it is at midday tomorrow, and then just watch what happens. There it is, look, at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, down here across eastern parts of England. It's as that feature comes in that it intensifies the precipitation, and it's that brings the potential for quite a lengthy period of snow affecting northeastern and the eastern parts of England. Really, it's going to be Northumberland, Durham, North Yorkshire, the East Riding of Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, Lincolnshire, possibly Nottinghamshire, running down to Cambridgeshire and parts of Norfolk. Perhaps even the northeast of Northamptonshire may well get some too. Also got snow showers running down the Irish Sea here, look, and also affecting western parts of Scotland too during the course of tomorrow evening. And then really that stuff is reluctant to get away. The low drags its way back southwards, look, but it's still producing outbreaks of snow tomorrow evening into the early part of tomorrow night down these eastern coasts of the country. Still an area of showers coming down onto western parts of Wales as well, and further snow showers here for southern and also western Scotland, and becoming pretty breezy too as this low pulls away, I think, with a northeast wind setting in. And even by Tuesday morning, look, still got bits and pieces of snow affecting the East Anglia and the southeast. Generally clear skies though here through much of the country, although still, look, this feed coming down the western coast of the country, an unstable feed of showers, some of them wintry, and also wintry showers affecting eastern Scotland Tuesday morning as well. And then eventually that low that moves down into the continent clears away down to the southeast, and we get into what you might call winter proper. As well, it's pretty handy just to look at the snow accumulations. Now, this is from the high-res model again, from the NAE model. It's produced by weatheronline.co.uk, and this is the snow accumulation. The time is here in the top left-hand corner, and you'll notice as we go through this that what you'll find is snow accumulating, bits and pieces of patchy snow. Look, I mean, that really does show, doesn't it, how fragmented this area is. Look, it's mainly high ground that's showing that. And then tomorrow afternoon, watch what happens across southern Scotland and central and southern Scotland and down through these eastern parts of the country. As that snow becomes more persistent tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening, look, that's what we find. This is how we close play tomorrow, according to the NAE. It's this area here that we have to watch out for. So how does that translate? Well, this is what I think we're probably going to be looking at in terms of snow depths, or rather snow coverage early on Monday morning. So we're looking at within this zone here, so we're looking within the zone here of 1 to 2 centimetres on low ground by tomorrow morning, 3 to 10 centimetres on the hills, perhaps a little bit here across the high ground of Wales too. I think elsewhere really it's just a trace to a centimetre. Some snow as well across central Scotland. And then of course we get that other main feature coming through. So this is kind of late Monday pushing into Tuesday now. This is where I think we're looking at, and we're looking at 1 to 5 centimetres on low ground across eastern parts of England, 5 to 10 centimetres over the hills, so particularly the North York Moors, parts of the Eastern Pennines. Scotland, 10 to 15 centimetres on the hills, 2 to 5 centimetres at low levels across central and eastern Scotland. And what I've done here is just marked in this area here, this line, this green line. This is the area of uncertainty as to how far west the snow might come and whether it actually falls as snow or not. This is the chart that was sent out to private clients earlier on this morning. It went out at 9 o'clock this morning. And a little bit of a tweak made to it since then, but this is where I think the snow is more likely to be. And that then leads us into a cold week, of course. You can see how the GFS is handling things here. Look, it just keeps things really, really cold right the way through to the end of the week. But just look what happens. You notice how these green bars here, which are rainfall, it just dies off, look, completely as we get in towards the early part of Tuesday. And then we dry really for most of the week, picking up again on Saturday as we watch for some sleet and snow coming into the south once again. And then this pick up in temperature the GFS tries to get later on next Sunday with milder air coming into the southwest. That's not how the Canadian model sees it, and I still favour the Canadian model as well. We'll look at the week ahead in just a mo. Sorry, a little bit further ahead in just a mo. But this is the Canadian model. This is from midnight last night. Here's the low pressure down to the south, and just watch what happens. Okay, here's our low from the south clearing away. This is the one that affected us yesterday, and then our front is here coming southeastwards midday today, which is of course is what we've seen. And then overnight tonight and into tomorrow, this is the area of low pressure, look, just tracking its way down the eastern coast of the country. And it's as that happens, look, just watch these blue colours here. You see these blue colours here? Just keep your eye on those. Look, here's our little cold pool, look, at midday tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, whack, look how it extends and cools across this area. It's this that destabilises the atmosphere, which produces heavier snow across the eastern coast of England. It's this really that has got the main element of doubt in it in terms of how far west the snow will come. And then into Tuesday, well, it slowly clears away the area of low pressure. But it's still there, look, even on Tuesday. So we've got this feed of snow showers, according to the GEM, coming onto these eastern coasts of the country through Tuesday. Got this weak ridge that builds out towards the west, and then what we find is that this is just a feed of such cold air that's coming into Europe, that the low across Italy just gets maintained as that feed comes in, look, and then we find it pulling back in northeast winds through the week. So we dry through the week across the UK, but this is Wednesday, and really these isobars tight together, so it's going to be a bitterly cold down Wednesday. Northeasterly winds, snow showers along eastern coast, best sunshine in the west, many areas struggling to get above freezing. And then overnight into Thursday, well, notice how the isobars have virtually disappeared from Scotland, Ireland, Northern England, Wales, southwest England. This is when I think we need to keep an eye out for freezing fog, but still keeping the winds going across southeastern parts of England. And I think it's going to be here again that we see the risk of catching some snow showers. And then through Thursday itself, well, the winds ease, look, across central southern parts of England, but still this feed coming in from the east, and I think again we've got to look for some snow showers affecting the east, but dry out towards the west. Then what we need to do is just look out west, because this is milder air trying to get in, but look, it's just being diverted around to the north of the ridge, and we've just got this cold easterly flow coming in all the time. So this is the chart for Friday. And the GEM really doesn't want to bring in any mild air. It just keeps this feature feeding in easterly winds, but it's got this area of low pressure down here off towards the southwest of England, and then it just maintains that cold easter northeasterly flow through next weekend, with the air trying to get in from the Atlantic, battling through but never actually making it across the country, and the high eventually coming back in once again. So keeping dry, cold conditions going and those easterly winds persisting across the country, look, even into the middle of the week after next, with those easterly winds coming through. Now, this is a model that I prefer, and certainly it has produced the better and more believable prognoses during the last few days. However, we need to just bear in mind that the GFS, the ECMWF, all head for a milder weekend next weekend. And this is the the ECMWF. Just have to bear in mind that they've gone milder, and if we just go through these charts, you'll notice what happens. Look there, this is going through now to Thursday, and we've got northeasterly flow there, and then to Friday, look how it's trying to bring in this milder air coming in from the west, and it pushes in, look, eventually makes far more of this low out towards the west. So I think we do need to cater for the threat of sleet and also a period of snow out towards the west, sometimes from Friday into Saturday of next week. But then the GFS, along with the ECMWF, wants to bring back in milder air, push an area of snow northwards, significant snowfall northwards next weekend, ahead of milder air proper getting in from the Atlantic. But my preferred option is still this one. I do think that probably we'll find through Ireland and southwest England an area of rain, sleet turning to snow on its leading edge, coming across southwest England, Wales, Ireland, sometime through Friday, Saturday or Sunday. I think that will just slip away off towards the southeast. Models notoriously warm things up in this easterly situation. I think the Canadians probably got it about right, that the rain, sleet and snow slip away to the southeast into the continent. We then get another ridge that builds back in, and we get high pressure building again, probably a foggier area of high pressure, not quite so cold, but I do think that that high comes back in and we end up with the easterly winds that the Canadian is seeing. And then just finally for you, sorry this is such a long video today, but there's just such a lot to cover. Finally for you, the Korean long range has just been issued, and that's just arrived, and these are the 500 millibar height anomalies going through January and into February. This is late January, look, we're under there, and to view these charts you kind of have to stand on your head because they're the wrong way around, and my apologies, I just haven't had time to turn them around for you, but you'll get the idea from it, hopefully. So late January, look, the Korean has got orange colours in here. This is the blocking high, this is the above normal heights, exactly as we're seeing with the trough out here in the Atlantic, look, but it's not making it through. We've got high pressure here, and we've got lower pressure in here, and we've just got this northeasterly flow persisting. So this agrees with the Japanese model. Early February, well, still got the high there, look, it builds it further south. In fact, that's doing exactly what the Canadian is suggesting would happen next week, which is that it just builds the high in but drifts it further south, and effectively that's what this is doing. It's got a ridge, a big ridge built through the country there, and that would mean that we get high pressure underneath here, low pressure in the Atlantic. Trough is going to be out here, ridge in there, trough in there, and classic Omega blocked off high across the country, dry and cool conditions. Middle of February, similar again, but what it tends to do is it pushes the high out towards the east, look. So we've got effectively what goes on here is we have a ridge built in here, and then we go into a weak trough through here, and low the normal heights across the north of the country, with the westerlies trying to get back in. So what that is trying to signal there is that we keep the cool weather, we keep the dry weather, probably for the first part of February, and then look towards a breakdown to more westerly conditions or northwesterly conditions into the middle of the month, which would still keep us cool, but it certainly wouldn't be winter type cold. So kind of along the same lines as the Japanese model, which is, you know, we could be looking between the 10th and the 15th of February before we see any real significant changes, although there could be some milder blips in between, of which one could be this weekend. So loads and loads of information there for you. My apologies for keeping you so long. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, we kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen, so by you coming back and using the adverts, clicking on the site, that's what keeps us free of charge, so thank you for doing that. And I think for now I'll say keep the sun shining. Bye for now.